Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is Sniper Fox. We're back to Yugioh 5Ds Decades Duels Plus, where someone suggested that they wanted the worm recipe. I was gonna eventually post it up, but I was gonna wait till later when I didn't have any more deck suggestions, but since they suggested they wanted it, I might as well do it right now. So first off, it's a Reptile worm deck. It is low tier, okay guys, it's pretty down there. But you know, if you want to have fun with it and play with a new deck, yeah, that's cool. Obviously that's what I wanted to do. I only see it once online before I started doing it, because I think Dark 2K10 was the one who suggested it, because he's seen it when I was facing it and he was like, I'm interested in seeing that deck, so I made it. Anyways, now on to the deck itself. Okay, so we got Worm Apocalypse right here. You flip it, you select it, destroy one spell and trap card. So it has to be flipped to destroy one spell and trap card. Pretty good to do that. Pretty good to do that. Otherwise, it's not too good for being in defense or anything. It can't really do anything else besides use for fusion as well. Those are the two main things you can use Worm Apocalypse for. Alright, we got Worm Bar... I don't even know how to say it. Barisis? Something like that. When this card is normal summon, target one defense position monster, change that target to face up attack position. That's pretty good. Change a couple of cards into attack position. Mainly stuff that you cannot kill. That's in defense position. You can just switch it to attack position and you can start hacking at it. Like that Spear Reaper, I think, the one at 300 attack and 200 defense. It's pretty good to do that. So that's his use, as well as fusion, of course. Worm, I have no idea how to say this. Worm Cartosis, something like that. Flip, add one level 4 or lower reptile type worm monster from your deck to your hand. So pretty much you can get any of, you can get this card, you can get that card, you can get many cards. So he's pretty good to get, a card that you need to your hand, as long as it's level 4 or lower. So he's, he's pretty useful. Again, he's used for fusion as well. Worm Hope, this one's a kind of a gamble. This one's kind of a gamble, because when he flips, you can draw one card, but when he dies, you have to discard one card. So it's kind of hit or miss sometimes. It's a hit or miss. Sometimes it's good because, let's say you only have one card in your hand, you draw that one card and he dies, you have to throw that card in the graveyard. So that would suck. That would suck. So he's kind of a gamble. That's why I only have one of him. He's also good for fusion, so here's another fusion. Oh shit, I already going down there. Anyways, Worm King. This card can be tribute summoned to face up attack position by tributing one reptile worm monster. You can tribute one reptile worm monster to select one card and your opponent controls and destroy it. So pretty much any reptile worm you have could be used to tribute summon this card for one tribute only. So it's pretty good for one tribute, 2,700 attack. That's pretty nice, that is pretty nice. And his effect's pretty nice too. He can destroy anyone as long as you tribute one reptile worm monster. So that's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Alright, Worm Lynx. Flip this card or face up during the end phase, draw one card. That is also good because you can, flip it, draw one card. Get a card that you need. If he's probably gonna die because he only has 1,000 though. But he's also good for fusions. He's also good for fusion. Alright, next up is Worm Opera. Flip all face up monsters on field, lose 5 attack except reptile type worm monsters. So he's pretty good if you want to weaken some monsters if you want. I have 2 of those. But remember, it's only when you flip. Once he leaves the field, they will still get the minus effect, but it's only the monsters that were on the field at the time. So let's say you flip it and there's like a 5-headed dragon and, I don't know, blue eyes. That 5-headed dragon and blue eyes just, lose 500 attack. So it'll be 2,500 for the blue eyes and 4,500 for the 5-headed dragon. So that's pretty neat. But then if he plays something else onto the field, then that monster would still have the original attack. It wouldn't have the effect. And if Worm Opera dies, they would still lose that 500. It would still stick with them. So they don't just recover it just because he dies. Just letting you know. Worm Solid. This card gains 100 defense for each reptile worm monster in your graveyard. Your opponent takes battle damage from attacking this card. At the end of the damage step, select one spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy it. That's actually pretty neat because let's say you have a bunch. You just did Future Fusion, right? You sent down about 6 cards. You get 600 more defense because it's reptile worm monsters. So 600 defense added to that is going to be about 2,200 if I did the math correctly. 2,200, so that's pretty hard already to destroy. And he takes battle damage. You can destroy one spell trap card he has. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. So that's why I have Worm Solid. He's also used for fusions as well. Let's go to Worm Tentacle. Once per turn, you can remove from play one reptile type worm monster in your graveyard to allow this card to attack twice during the same battle phase. If you have a bunch of reptile worm monsters on your graveyard, you can make it attack twice. So that's actually pretty good if you can attack the life points directly. It's actually pretty good. So I would suggest having Worm Tentacles because he's actually pretty nice to have. Also used for fusions as well. Worm of Warlord. This card cannot be special summoned. Negate the effects of effect monsters destroyed by battle. And this card, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it can attack once again in a row. That's actually pretty nice because he can actually keep on attacking monsters as long as he destroys them. As long as he destroys them, he can keep on attacking and attacking. It's actually pretty nice. It's actually pretty nice. Alright, so now we got Worm X. I'm just gonna say Worm X. When this card is normal summoned, you can send one reptile worm monster from your deck to the graveyard. If you control a face-up worm Yangan, this card cannot be destroyed by battle. So that is also pretty good. That is also pretty good. I like this card. That's why I have 3 of them, because I actually like this card. I'm going to the combo in just a second. Alright, now we go Worm Yangan, also known as Wormy. I like calling him Wormy. I don't know why. If the only monster you control is Worm X, you can special summon this card from your graveyard in face down defense position. If you do, remove it from play when it is removed from the field. This card is flipped face up. Select one face up monster your opponent controls and return it to its owner's hand. So pretty much what you can do, let's say you only have Worm X. You can activate his effect and send one monster to the graveyard. Worm Yangan. You can actually summon Worm Yangan that same turn as long as you only have Worm X on the field. And you could put this down in face down defense position, having you 2 monsters down. Alright, so basically Worm Yangan could then be flipped next turn, or if he attacks it, it gets flipped up, and that card that he had gets pretty much sent. You could pick one card and send it back to his hand. So it's actually pretty useful, and Worm Yangan actually has a decent amount of defense points, so he might not always die on the first turn. So it's actually pretty neat. Alright, Future Fusion! Everyone's favorite card, Future Fusion. Obviously it's just for fusion monsters, for Worm Zero. We'll get into that later. You know, obviously if I have gold, it's most likely for Future Fusion or some other card. Yeah, obviously you guys know what gold does. I don't need to explain that. Heavy Storm obviously destroys all spell cards on the field. It's good and you need it because sometimes when you have Messenger Piece, you want to get rid of it because you forgot to, or the Nightmare Steel Cage, something like that. Heavy Storm actually helps you out as well if you need to attack quickly. Same thing with Mystical Space Typhoon. You already know what Messenger Piece it does, you know. 1,500 or more attack and declare an attack. You gotta pay 100 life points for it. Everyone knows. Nightmare Steel Cage, both of you guys cannot attack for 2 turns. I'm pretty much putting a bunch of stalling cards just in case because I don't have that much attacking monsters. Because a Worm King is pretty much my best bet without fusion. Once I get fusion in, I can get Worm Zero in, but you need some stalling, I suggest. Polymerization. I only have 2 of them because most of the time you will not be able to polymerization Worm Zero that quickly. Sometimes you can. At least you won't be able to polymerization Worm Zero to its full effect. Sometimes you do want to get polymerization Worm Zero quickly, you know. Get him out just so you can activate his effects, which is always neat to do. Always need to do. Swords of Light, more stalling. Dark Bribe, just in case that they want to get rid of the stalling cards. You got Dark Bribe for insurance. You can also put Solomon's Judgments. I normally like Dark Bribe. Once in a while I'll put Solomon's Judgment though. Once in a while. Gravity Bind, another stalling card. You gotta get rid of it with Mystical Space Typhoon or Heavy Storm from your own hand. Air Force, self-explanatory, you know, you need something to get rid of some cards at least. So you gotta have that. I mean, Worm Yangan helps on that too. Alright, now, let's talk about the one card that is the main card in the deck, which is good old Worm Zero. 2 or more reptile type worm monsters for each fusion material monster with a different name. Use to fusion summon this card. It gains 500 attack. It also gains these effect. 2+. Once per turn, you can select one reptile type monster in your graveyard and special summon it in the face-up defense position. So pretty much you can get a monster back from your graveyard. So this is actually good if you put down Worm King and let's say Worm Overlord. You can actually activate this effect, get back Worm King, face-up attack, bam. Now 4+, you can remove from play one reptile type monster from your graveyard to send one monster on the field to the graveyard. So pretty much, let's say you just use Future Fusion, you get rid of one of those fusion monsters to the remove from play section. Worm Zero will not lose any attack points, and you can get rid of one monster he controls on the field. One monster he controls on the field, so that's actually pretty nice. That's pretty nice. And if you have 6, once per turn you can draw one card. That's actually pretty good too, because you know sometimes you need cards for backup. The only problem I have with Worm Zero is he's easy to get rid of. He's so hard to get, you know, 6 cards, different names and everything, unless you have Future Fusion. Unless you have Future Fusion, then it's kind of easy. But he takes so much effort to get out that once he's out there, he's so easy to kill. Like literally any trap card is gonna do it, and then that's it for Worm Zero. You know, if you could get Worm Zero out, you know, quickly, then it's over, pretty much. So that's it for the Reptile Worm decks. If you guys have any deck suggestions you want to see on my Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's Play, because I obviously am just doing Red Eyes, Black Dragon, and then I'll probably go back to Blackwing as suggested by other people. But if you guys want to have any suggestions for me on what decks you want to see and all that, just let me know in the comments below. I definitely take them to heart and actually do them. So I guess that's it from me, guys. So hopefully you like this deck. It's low tier. It's I would say it has a good fun level on it. It's not like super high fun like my Elemental Heroes, because that's my preference to play just to have fun. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. When we come back, we will do some more how to create another deck. So see you guys.